Good afternoon. This is the Streetwise edition of CAN TV, where we're able to bring our print magazine to life by talking with the people behind the stories. And so I'd like to get right into it. This week's issue is about recycling in Chicago. Suzanne Haney, credited for writing the article, and will also be moderating this discussion with Griffin Amder from the Chicago Furniture Bank and our very own A. Allen, Streetwise vendor and field supervisor. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to you, Suzanne.
Hi, Julie. Thank you so much. And thank you, Griffin and Alan, for being on this show. So Griffin, we first interviewed you a couple of years ago when you started the Chicago Furniture Bank with some of your friends from college, and you got an award from your school for thinking of such a great idea. So let's just start out by saying furniture is the least recycled item in the United States, according to the EPA. 80% of 20 million tons of furniture went into landfills in 2018. That's amazing. So how did you come up with this idea?
Yeah, so we came up with the idea when we realized that kids weren't really wanting their parents' stuff. Styles change, trends change. People are moving around a lot more, getting different stuff, living in smaller spaces, just moving in general. So we realized that there wasn't much of a market for used furniture, and there isn't one because it's heavy to move. It takes up a lot of space. There's not really repeat sales, right? You're not buying multiple china cabinets, and it just sort of ended up that we noticed that it was basically all being thrown away because there's not much of a resale market, because there's not much monetary value for used furniture, but there's still intrinsic usefulness, specifically for people leaving shelters and moving into permanent housing for the first time. Part of when we were first starting the Furniture Bank, it was mostly because we realized there was sort of an abundance of used furniture that was really just being thrown away.
So you furnished, so what your model is that you have the Furniture Bank, but people can only access it if they're working with a nonprofit, coming out of a shelter and going into permanent supportive housing or something. So how many homes have you furnished since you started in 2018?
Yeah, so we started in July of 2018, so we're just coming around three years, and we furnished around 4,900 homes for our 400 nonprofit partners.
Wow.
We've been growing very fast. We're currently furnishing about 13 homes per day. We're projecting to furnish 3,000 homes in 2021, and our goal is 5,000 homes per year by 2024.
And because you say that's the need, there are actually that many people coming out of shelters or whatever, unstable housing situations, and they need this furniture.
So that's based off a study by the University of Toronto that was sort of evaluating Toronto's needs for their furniture bank. They came up with 5,000 homes. Chicago's a similar size city. It might be more poverty stricken. So we think that's sort of a conservative estimate for the actual need for our city. A lot of the time, people who are coming to the furniture bank aren't just leaving homelessness. We often have kids leaving their parents' home for the first time who are, sort of in low-income households. So a lot of single mothers. Also, we found that there's a lot of the times that, kids are trying to leave their parents' house because the parents are taking their paychecks. So it's a lot of the times people are, moving on their own for the first time and, just don't have a lot of money and are, in need of help for stabilizing their first home.
So my experience with the Furniture Bank, of course, was starting with rummage sales on the North Shore. And we cover rummage sales every year because with the wealth gap, people are trying to look good to stay in the game. And it's harder and harder. But if you can get somebody's fancy stuff from the North Shore, then you look like you're in the game. And so that's how we came upon it. The furniture you get is really cool stuff, from what I remember. I mean, because the ladies at the rummage sales that I talked to, they want to keep this out of landfills. So how much have you kept out of landfills since March? Well, as of March 1st?
Yeah, I think since we started about 3 years ago, it's been 2,700 tons. We'll probably do about 1,500 tons of furniture this year. And that's probably a pretty conservative number. We also give away like a lot of office furniture or sort of bulk donations to our nonprofit partners. Stuff that's not good for residential homes, we just sort of give away to our partner agencies, and that's not really included in that number.
So let's talk about, I know there was a problem this year because of COVID, of course, there were no rummage sales, and but you were still giving furniture away. You had enough furniture to give away. So how can people go about it, and tell us about your new location? How can people go about donating furniture, and then how can they go about getting it?
Yeah, so definitely there's a seasonality effect for when people are looking to donate furniture. More people are moving in the summer. People are spring cleaning. So it's definitely, we're getting into our busier season. It does slow down more in the winter. But if you go onto our website, chicagofurniturebank.org, it tells, there's a pickup request form and it says the items that the Furniture Bank needs. We also have our sister nonprofit Honest Junk Company, which basically is a 501c3 junk removal service where we'll take everything and anything and donate all usable items to various charity partners. So it's a one-stop service to get everything removed, knowing it's going all to the right places, and you also get a donation receipt for both the fee charge as well as the items picked up. And that's our sister nonprofit, Honest Junk Company.
Great. So yeah, that's for people who might be cleaning out a house and don't want to have to dispose of it themselves. You take everything, all the little stuff as well. So this would be like what kinds of items do you accept?
Yeah, so for the Furniture Bank, we think more of like your typical household furniture. When someone is, sort of moving into a new place, they're generally smaller homes or apartments. So, we're looking for beds, dressers, tables, end tables, artwork, mirrors, also kitchenware items, but certain items like china cabinets, large armoires, big desks or huge sectionals aren't as great when, because a lot of the times they're in, smaller apartments and they just don't really work. So for those items, that's where we recommend Honest Junk. But the Furniture Bank picks up, your standard residential furniture.
So then let's talk about the flip side of it. If you're somebody who might be coming out of homelessness, what are the things that you get? I mean, I know you have a standard package. What is that?
Yeah, so it's a $50 appointment fee, which is about $1,400 if you go to the Salvation Army or other thrift stores. And it's a flat fee regardless of the size of the household. So it's beds for everyone. It's a couch, an armchair, dresser for every 2 people, a couple side tables, a desk chair, kitchen table chairs, artwork, lamps, mirrors, pots, pans, plates, small appliances, etc. What we do is we have red sticker items. And because, we're in the volume game, right? We're not reselling specific items. We're furnishing 13 homes per day. So we move stuff really fast. We have red sticker items, which we say has a little bit more love. It might be a floral couch that no one really wants, or have a little bit of a tear. And if someone wants additional items from our standard furnishing package, they can take as many red sticker items as they want. That's an additional way that we're able to keep stuff out of landfills, and it allows our clients to expand their furnishing package.
Fabulous. So let's also tell people how they can access this if they are hoping to come out of homelessness and they need housing.
So we do need a referral from our partnered agencies. On our website, there's a list of our 400 nonprofit partners. We at the Furniture Bank provide a service to our partnered agencies who are really providing that direct service, one-on-one case management a lot of the times. We are just a part. So we want to make sure that the referrals using the Furniture Bank are receiving other supportive services. So our clients are only referred by a partnered agency.
What are some of these agencies?
Yeah, so we're partnered with most agencies that serve individuals or households that face poverty. So some of our larger ones are Heartland Alliance, Safe Haven, Housing Opportunities for Women, All Chicago, Catholic Charities, the VA, both, Jesse Brown and Hines. We also work with a bunch of hospitals as well, Cook County Health, Children's, Northwestern Hospital, who have social workers if they, if one of their patients or someone in their system could benefit from our service. Yeah.
And then now let's go into the new thing that you told me that I hadn't ever thought about, mattress recycling. This is a specific thing that you say could get recycled and kept out of landfills. It's a huge item. So tell me a little bit about that. Tell me about that.
Yeah, so the thing with sort of used good recycling or repurposing is it doesn't, like, you can create an operation that breaks even or generates a little bit of profits, but you can't really, like, no one's like making a ton of money recycling items. So there's a huge inefficiency in our system because there hasn't, there hasn't been those sort of innovative solutions to sort of fix these waste issues because you can't really make money off of it. But one thing that if you have enough scale, you can break even on is mattress recycling. So like landfills generally charge extra to take a mattress, and that's because they're like take up a lot of volume. So a lot of times some landfills or transfer stations charge up to $35 in addition per bed. So what a mattress recycling program is generally like the city or the landfills, because they don't want it, pay about $10 to $15 per bed. And what you do is you deconstruct it. You take out the metal springs, you bail it up. You can sell the metal. You take the foam on the beds, and you can make carpet padding. There's also recycling what you can do for the fabric on the outside, and you can basically start a break-even operation where you create good jobs and you're saving a lot of stuff from the landfills. About 19 million mattresses end up in landfills each year, and there's 56 recycling plants in the country. So it's incredibly underdeveloped compared to how much is going to landfills.
And I think you told me the city of Houston recycles mattresses. So
yes, the city. Yes.
Yeah. So you want to be recycling mattresses. You're trying to get, like, what did you tell me? 150 a day or something? 150 used beds a week would be the volume you need.
Yeah, that's sort of like the minimum value needed to make it pretty like a sort of a viable model. So right now we're trying to create more partnerships to get more used bedding. And yeah, you can't really start until you get about 150 beds per week. So we're talking to Amazon right now because they're starting a pretty big bedding program where they're looking to drop them all off at our facility, which is nice. We're trying to get in talks with IKEA, but definitely creating a partnership with the city would be huge. And you can also or the landfills itself, because it's a problem for them. They don't want the beds either.
So what I have to stress is we're not giving people old mattresses. We're stripping off the fabric, gutting down to the metal, and then we're putting new fabric and stuff on them. So this is a nice new mattress.
So that's
recycled mattress.
So it's a rebuilt mattress. So there's a couple things you can do. So right now, the Furniture Bank, we give away about 120 bed sets per week. We do spray them all with the industry standard chemical. We do give away used beds. If it has any sort of stain or rip, we recycle it. So about 50% of the beds that come into the Furniture Bank are not good enough for us to give to our clients. So we do give away good beds. They're just very much inspected and treated properly. With those 50% that aren't, good enough to meet our quality control, we give to a local rebuilder. So what a rebuilder does is they generally take that core, the metal core, which is the expensive part of the bed, and then they put new foam and fabric, reupholster it, and then it's a rebuilt bed. So it's not a new bed because you can't say it's a new bed unless it's all new material, but it's a rebuilt bed that's really quality. It's a good bed, and it's also when you're us, giving away 13 homes a day worth of furniture. It's a $50 appointment fee. We don't get enough beds, right? Like that's we're trying to start eventually our own rebuilding sort of in-house operations in order to increase the quality of beds to our clients and decrease that cost. Right now we're spending about $50,000 a month on beds. The most important part of our furnishing package that was not in our budget, and we're definitely trying to decrease that cost.
Well, in
Griff, can I ask you a question?
So yeah, go with it, Alan.
Yeah. Have you heard of recovering mattresses? Because I know they do it on the south side.
Are they mattress rebuilding?
Yeah, there's like recycle. They recover them and seal them up. They are very well sealed, and then put them in plastic and resell them as recycled mattresses. You heard of that, right?
Yeah, so that's what we're hoping to be able to start eventually in-house. Rebuilt mattresses, yeah. Yeah, so that there's a bunch. They're generally smaller shops. There's a bunch on this,
Yeah.
and that's who we recycle. Are the ones we don't give away. We give them to rebuilders to do.
Okay.
We're just eventually trying to bring that in house.
Because I know
let's
they have
talk
them
about,
outside.
go ahead. So let's
No, I
talk
just
about
know they
why,
have them. Go ahead, Susan.
go ahead. No, why, so you're recycling down to the core, and what you've got is steel, and what else in the mattress, in the metals?
Well, it's like springs, right? Yeah, it's like springs, coils generally. There's different types of mattresses. Obviously, there's foam mattresses. The foam mattresses we get right now, like we get the Casper Returns, we get your purple mattress, your Tough and Needle Returns. So right now, like a lot of those bed companies have 100-day free trials or like free nights, and if you don't like it after 100 days, you can get like a full refund. So we pick those up, but those are generally like $1,000 mattresses that have been barely slept on. So we give those away to our clients because those are really
Cool.
really nice beds.
So you're giving nice stuff away. This is not purely charity. This is great stuff to elevate your feelings, your spirit.
Yeah, we're always trying to give, our whole thing is we're always trying to give our clients the most dignified experience possible where there's choice, right? A lot of times when our clients are moving into a new place, they don't even get to choose the unit they want to live in. So being able to at least choose the furniture inside their home is really important. And we always try to get the best experience. So in our new warehouse, we got a bigger showroom. It's way nicer. And we try to make as much of a retail experience as possible.
Cool. So let's go back into the metals. So the mattress has core metals in it, and metals are high now. Metals are at some of their highest prices in years. Because of the pandemic, we didn't have anybody making stuff. We also didn't have any demand. So everything kind of shut down. Now everybody's firing up again. They want their lives back. So we've got more demand, more supply, but we can barely keep up. So metals are at their high. Alan, you used to collect metals, and a lot of the metal recyclers I talked to said that the alley scrappers are performing a public service. Tell me a little bit. You even told me that your friends used to look in the financial pages for how high aluminum was going, but tell me about that.
Yeah, I know metal is a international commodity, and it is listed in the paper. The percentage is just like gold, nickel, all that's listed in the paper, and it's an international commodity like gold and silver, you're just taking it to a lower level. And I know like on the streets, the copper is probably the most expensive metal that you'll find maybe on the streets. And then comes the aluminum. Aluminum is a expensive metal. As far as the springs in a mattress, I don't think the springs in the mattress wouldn't be worth that much, but because it's already formed in the mattress shape, that will make it important as far as recycling, just the form of a mattress.
Right.
The metal part of it, but far taking the metal out and weighing it and selling it, it wouldn't be that valuable.
Well, actually, scrap metal is what we make steel out of. The United States doesn't have as much iron ore as it used to. So we scrap a lot of metal. For what steel and copper and nickel are tied to electric vehicles and energy storage. So there's a demand rising there. Steel scrap, aluminum, of course, primary aluminum we have to import. That's what you make airplanes out of. But secondary aluminum goes for cans and other things. So, why would we take imports to make cans? We should be just rolling it over and over again, because that's what the metal recyclers said to me. You can roll over aluminum over and over and over, and it doesn't lose its properties. So that's why can recycling is important. And again, the other thing that I learned is we are not self-sufficient in iron ore and aluminum. We do have supplies of copper, but we also import copper. So this is where we should be recycling, because we can't depend that we'll always be able to import it. Either the countries will try to put a fee on us, or we might not be friends with them for a while, or something. Steel, as a matter of fact, steel can be melted down. even rusted steel. I didn't know this. Rusted iron can be melted down. So yeah, they can melt down the springs. It's a process. And I'm looking to see how much scrap. The United States actually is a huge exporter of scrap. And believe it or not, we export it to China. And China makes a good portion of the world's steel. So it's just like one of these crazy things. We can't afford to get too mad at people because we need their stuff and they need ours. Trying to see what else I can say in here. Okay, so the steel industry has been recycling for 150 years. So it's as the U.S. Geological Survey says, it saves raw materials, it saves energy, and it saves landfill. So the things that you can recycle are steel cans, automobiles, appliances, construction materials. Yeah. So
And
what else?
Aluminum cans can be recycled. As a matter of fact, I remember collecting aluminum cans and taking them to the recycling place. You know, aluminum is sort of like a precious metal. It's sort of okay.
Right.
Far as on the street, I mean, it won't equate to gold or silver, but aluminum, you have to have a lot of it. You have to have a lot of it to put it on the scale and weigh it and to be able to profit from it. Not like steel. Steel, you know, it's heavy, you know, so you really have to have some way to transport the steel.
Yeah, you need trucks.
Right, right.
You know, one thing that I personally believe, right? So, you know, we divert a lot of stuff from landfills. It's generally furniture, right? Treated wood doesn't have much, like you can't really repurpose treated wood, you know, like what you think the furniture is or veneer. But there isn't enough research out there to sort of seeing how much electricity, how much gas, how much water is saved through sort of this recycling efforts. We try to do sort of an audit of our environmental impact to see, okay, what does what does it cost to make 1 ton of steel or 1 ton of processed wood, because it's being, you know, reused, right? And not we reuse stuff, right? We don't recycle stuff. But you know, there should definitely be easier ways to sort of be able to, you know, compute that environmental offset. So one thing we sort of thought of, right, is if you could figure out the total amount of carbon that was diverted from a ton of furniture being diverted, right? You can sell those carbon credits or sort of those diversion credits to companies, as you know, because all these companies have their goals, right? I'm trying to be carbon neutral by X year, yada yada yada, and you can sort of create a market where you can use these environmental companies and sell them to corporations that have these environmental targets, and then be able to you know, generate some money for the actual environmental impact, right? So that's where I think it should start, is sort of being able to like wrap your head around what does that reuse of these items mean, and then you can sort of create a marketplace or, you know, figure out ways to make it more incentivized to do more.
So what you mean is they may not be doing everything they should, but you are overcompensating, and so you give them a credit. That's how it works.
Well, it's also like, you know, so I have you know, all these companies have goals to be carbon neutral, right? Let's say they're not going to get there on time. You can offset whatever my plants, which takes more money to, you know, change all the machinery in order to be more energy efficient. So you can offset that carbon by purchasing carbon credit, right? Because it's a whole carbon credit market, which is like, you know, developing. So you can do that like on a smaller level that's easier for individuals or organizations, and you can like pretty easily audit that. You know, that could be a pretty impactful market, and, you know, and generate money to further incentivize, you know, more environmental related.
Griff, I like to commend you. I think you are doing a great job, because furniture is probably the most bulk of the landfills. Furniture, you know, even though the wood can be recycled because it can be cut up and made into pressed wood. But the bulk of the landfills is the furniture, is the desks, the dressers, you know, things like that. Like you say, the mattresses, you know, that's the bulk of the landfill. And most of the stuff is not biodegradable, you know. But the wood is, the wood will turn back over, you know. But a lot of stuff like the mattress is not biodegradable. So, you know, you're doing a great job, and I can see where's you may be interested in the recycling of the mattress because there's so much that go into the mattress that is not biodegradable. You know, but Susan, I'd just like to commend you. You did an excellent job on this issue. And I really think this issue can go into like the collector's item as far as the customer. You know, my motto is if you're not streetwise, you're not wise at all. Okay. And so therefore, you know, you take this issue and you can get a lot out of this issue because you can learn about the places that do recycle, and you can learn about the places that like Griff is running, you know, and then you can get some free stuff, you know, you can actually get some free stuff, you know, and then you can get rid of some stuff, right?
I was amazed as I got into it, just how many things. I mean, I knew Griffin, so I got into furniture, but you know, we went past blue carts and all the bottles and cans. So then we started talking about furniture, and then we started talking about building materials, and we started talking about metals. We started talking about prescriptions. I mean, there's any number of ways you can live more sustainably and take less impact on Earth, but you can also save money and put it in the bank. And you can also not be competing to look good. You can just go with what's out there. So, and a lot of the metals people said to me, well, you know, there are very few metals recycling. There's no metals recycling places on the north side. They're all on the south side. And they're performing a service for the city because they're getting rid of waste. So aluminum, I'm going to say now, is at a 29-month high, and copper is at a 10-year high. So go ahead and look at our magazine, see some places that you can recycle, start getting fired up and collecting, and go in there and make some money. And then take a look at Griffin's at chicagofurniturebank.org. You got your hat on, so we'll remember. Put your hat there, okay? We'll remember everybody looking for that, okay? It's .org. And if you know somebody who needs help, you can refer them to one of the agencies, and that's the cover, one of the agencies that Griffin works with, and they'll get a big lift out of some of this furniture, and we'll keep stuff out of landfills, and the rest of us will be making money recycling and living better and living closer to Earth. And I think that's about it. Anything else we can say?
Yes. Not only that, but get this recycling magazine from Streetwise. If you're not Streetwise, you're not wise at all. And so this will cover a lot of information about where you can get some free stuff and where you can donate some stuff. And not only that, I have a writing in here about Streetwise recycle people. Okay. And what I mean by that is Streetwise, if you don't have anything to do or you feel like your life is wasted, then you need to come down to Streetwise at 2009 South State Street, Tuesday or Thursday for orientation. We'll get you started with 15 free papers, and you too can be recycled.
Thank you. Thank you very much. I think that's it.
Thank you. Thank you for the opportunity.
Thank you.